Back everyone to the working class revolt, and today I want to talk about the dangers that Keir Starmer is about to embrace when he decides to work with the EU over Donald Trump and the United States of America. So first of all, just to give you a bit of background, Donald Trump has made very, very clear that he wants to do a trade deal with zero tariffs with the United Kingdom. Let's not forget Donald Trump's own mother was Scottish. Trump loves the United Kingdom, and not to mention his good friendship with the Reform UK leader, Nigel Farage. But Trump had a warning for the UK. If you align with EU, you will get the same treatment as the EU gets. Now, some may argue, well, it's not up to Donald Trump to bully the United Kingdom. But if, like me, you believe that nothing good comes out of the EU, and you look at its projections compared to that of the United States of America, even before Trump took power, I think it's a very dangerous deal to jump in bed with the EU. It will do far more damage to have tariffs put on us by Trump than it would not to sign up to the deals I'm going to talk about that Keir Starmer is hoping to do. So Keir Starmer is set to meet with the 27 leaders of the EU nations, and he is looking to realign with the net zero plan. Now, one of the problems with this is that the tariffs that businesses have to pay for when they go over a set amount of carbon emissions is double in the EU than it is in the UK. When we left the EU, we set our own price plan. So it's basically so many tons you go over, such a price you'll pay. You pay X amount, and like I said before, on the continent of Europe, it's double the UK. So this has businesses very, very worried about why Starmer wants to do this. And of course, that is going to have a massive knock-on effect when it comes to you and me as consumers. Our gas and electric prices are going to go higher by being signed up with the EU than they already currently are. The EU are all basically, let's be honest, as balmy, if not more balmy, than Ed Miliband is when it comes to achieving net zero. But Starmer wants more than just that from the EU. Starmer's looking to have a security deal with the EU, but in return, for him to get this security deal, and bear this in mind, Starmer already knows this before asking for it, the EU wants to take more fishing rights from the UK fishermen and women, and it also wants to have free movement amongst what it says young people with the UK and the rest of the EU. Now let's look at this sensibly. The EU, 27 countries, the UK, 1. For students to be able to travel free around Europe from the UK is going to be a far smaller number than the 27 countries wanting to come to the UK. And the devil will be in the detail, of course, but we don't know exactly what it means by young people. Is that just going to be students? That's one thing. Although we already have things in place is for students when it comes to immigration. What it is more likely going to be is people, let's say to the mid to late 20s, non-skilled migrants, which is exactly why a lot of people voted for Brexit. My reasons for voting for Brexit was simply about taking back sovereignty for the United Kingdom, so then we can choose a government that enables what we want to vote for, what we want for our country. But if you've got the EU over the top of any UK government you vote for, it's pretty pointless even voting in the first place. But a lot of people voted to cut immigration, and more specifically, it was the young men of a fighting age that they didn't feel safe with coming over into this country. So for Starmer to sign up to this, a betrayal on the fishing rights, and for this youth immigration will be an absolute betrayal to millions and millions of people in the United Kingdom. And as I said before, Starmer already knows what the EU wants. So the fact that he's going to meet with the 27 countries under what he calls the Brexit reset, exactly, look at the terms he's using, the Brexit reset, kind of gives it away of what Starmer is really up to. To me, Starmer is looking for realignment with the EU. First of all, get signed back up to a lot of its treaties, and then when he can claim there's been some form of success, he can then bring us back into the EU. If you notice, for the last 5 years, it's true, the country has got worse off. Things have gone up in price, just like it did for the 5 years before that, and it did the 5 years before that. But every media channel now has the population brainwashed into believing it's because of Brexit. So they ask you a simple question: was you better off before Brexit? The answer is yes. So that means by default, it's because of Brexit. What they don't mention to you is that countries like Germany and France are in a far, far worse position than us. So I would actually say that if we'd stayed in Brexit, it would in the EU, it would be far worse than what it is now. But let me know what you think. My opinion's this: if aligning with the EU makes Trump not do a trade deal with us and put 25% tariffs on us, that will be far more damaging to the United Kingdom than not getting back in bed with the EU. Let's not forget, we're not there at the moment. So why jump back in? But let's not forget, Keir Starmer was Mr. Anti-Brexit himself. He was the leader of the People's Vote. He was the minister for the Labour Party in opposition, what under Jeremy Corbyn's government, claiming that we should rejoin the EU. So should anything surprise us that this Labour government do when it comes to joining and being best buddies with the EU? Please let me know your thoughts, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.